Hello guys, this is Pavel Oskarov from Laravel Daily Team and YouTube channel Laravel Business, where I'm back with philosophical thoughts from my car from time to time. I decided to do that more often, maybe shorter for a few minutes, but more often because I have random thoughts every day. Every day something happens doing with clients or other developers or teammates, and I have a lot to say. Topic of today is your goal as a developer. So I assume majority of my audience are developers, Laravel developers specifically, and including myself. I am a developer, but been transitioning to business owner now. And ask yourself, what is your number one goal as a developer? Just in general, the result of your work. What is your number one result? And probably majority of you will say the quality code. So code that is maintainable, scalable, flexible, with all the principles like solid, dry, KISS, and architecturally good, testable, understandable with comments and all of that. So basically, in short, your answer would be quality code is the goal and the result of a developer. And that's okay answer, but it's not the final and correct answer in my opinion. In my opinion, the goal of the developer is not good code. The goal of the developer is happy client. And that doesn't necessarily transform into quality code. By saying happy client, I mean the guy or the girl or the company who pay you money, basically the company you work for, the freelance client you work for, or whoever pays you money, basically. If these people are happy, code doesn't really matter, code quality. It may matter to some extent when you scale, but then you may refactor, you may even change the framework or even language, or even code the project from scratch again. But generally speaking, if your client is happy, then they don't care about the code. They don't care anyway. Imagine you're buying new phone, new computer like iPhone or Samsung or model. Do you care about the inside parts of that phone? So what are those small belts on and micro schemas and the wires, what's inside? All you care about as a consumer is whether that phone is good, whether it works, is it pretty, is it useful, doesn't it break, and similar questions. You don't care about inside parts. Similar with clients to programming. So your code as a developer is a part of the puzzle and it has to work, but the quality of that doesn't have to be 100%. And I'm a big fan of good enough concept, like 80 or 90% of deliverable is usually enough, and pushing to that 100% quality is usually really expensive. The best example of that is unit testing or automated testing in project. And of course, all developers say that it's necessary because code should be tested and testable. And for future developers, it should be bug proof as much as possible, and automated tests help that. But if you're dealing with small clients, with bootstrap business people who don't really have time, they need to launch something to the market, anything basically, any product to the market, and they don't care how testable it is. They don't care about future developers. Maybe they won't even happen to be second phase of the project. Maybe they will throw away that code, the project itself, and they won't even care. So your goal is to basically for project to launch, for project to be profitable or in other ways valuable for the client. And unit testing or automated testing is usually, well, kind of left to the last part. And often there's no time for that, or there's no budget for that. And in my opinion, that's okay. Of course, depending on the kind of the sensitivity of data you're working with, I would advise anything related to money to transactions should be testable, but I don't believe in 100% testing coverage. Let's put it this way, from business point of view. So that's thought number one, that your goal as a developer is a happy client. And on top of that, there's another layer. Your goal as a developer is happy client of your client. What do I mean by that? Is in other words, happy customer of your client. So if you're creating a website for some company, that website will be used by someone else, usually by other users who will register, pay for something, do some networking. Not sure what is the website about. So those users should be happy, then your client will be happy, and then and then you will be happy. So while doing your architectural decisions or coding decisions or technical decisions, just always keep in mind the end goal, that the project should be launched and should be profitable for customer, and then it will be win-win for everyone. Then the way it works is customer is happy, then the project continues, then the project goes on, and then they have phase two, and then come back to you with another amount of money to basically to build phase two, sometimes from scratch. I've done it a few times in my career, that the first project was successful, the first phase of the project was successful, but for the phase two, clients kind of realized some gaps in the market, some flaws, and I had to pivot the project to basically recreate from scratch. Not because the code was bad, but because the project changed, the scope changed, and it didn't make sense to build on the same platform, on the same code base. So if you make your clients happy at first and make them profitable, then they will come back, and then you may make your code better, then introduce unit tests, because you will have budget for that then. And then it makes more sense. And in general, I see business trends of so-called bootstrapping, with like creating IT projects or online SaaS businesses on a small budget. And then those startups and those bootstrap people, they care about speed more than quality. You have to launch fast, launch basically anything, launch MVP, launch first version, and then iterate from that. It's like going agile and going step by step and iterate. So my thought for today is, what is your goal as a developer? It's not only the code, it is the code, but the final goal is actually happy client. I wish happy clients to you all, and see you in the next video.